Michigan Out of Doors Online is brought to you in part by Tri-County Logging. Experienced in sustainable forestry practices, Tri-County Logging can help you manage your property by keeping your woods healthy and generate income. Serving southern and mid-Michigan for nearly 50 years, TriCountyLogging.com.
Hi everyone, welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. I'm Jenny Olson-Silik, and we've got a fun-filled show in store for you this week. I'll take you to downtown Detroit to the DNR Outdoor Adventure Center. It's an incredible hands-on place for a day of fun with the entire family. You won't want to miss that story. And Jimmy and Jordan have been working on some other fun outdoor adventures for us this week too.
Well, that's right, Jenny. We do have a couple more stories on this week's show. Our own Jordan Brown is going to take us out coyote hunting after dark. You won't want to miss that. And if you saw the show last week, I was trying to catch some splake on Thumb Lake in northern Michigan. I just happened to be in that same part of the state this past week, and so we tried it again, and we had some success. Lots of good stuff on this week's show. Make sure you stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger. It's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan out of doors.
What a beautiful day in the woods.
Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream, it's a love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Country Smokehouse, a sportsman's meat processor and Michigan destination since 1988. Offers a variety of homemade smoked meats and Michigan-made products in-store and online. The Country Smokehouse features an outdoor barbecue and bar. Details at countrysmokehouse.com. By RBM Jigs, a Michigan-based company serving ice fishing anglers around the state and throughout the country. Specializing in ice fishing gear, RBM Jigs manufactures tungsten jigs, soft plastics, and much more. Online at rbmjigs.com. By AnglerQuest Pontoons. AnglerQuest is a Michigan-based company building boats designed for comfort and fishing functionality. For more information, anglerquestpontoons.com. By Polar Craft Boats, offering riveted and welded boats for the outdoor enthusiast. Whether you're targeting fish or waterfowl, Polar Craft Boats have several models to choose from that keep you high and dry. For more information, polarcraft.com.
See if she wants to run it. 12 below zero. We're going to go after some splake. I've been having pretty good luck, and we're going to try our luck here.
What's the temperature outside?
Minus 12, and it's every bit of that. I'm glad the wind's not blowing.
Oh, baby.
Got some tip-ups to set, and we'll see if we can get into some.
And there's some fish in here, eh?
There's some fish in here. I've been doing pretty good. Catching my share, keeping the kids busy. So.
Yeah, and who we got with us today?
We have Devin, my son.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
He can run to the tip-ups then.
He tends my tip-ups and I clean up the mess.
Yeah, these fish, do they kind of school up, or how do they run around in here?
Well, from what I find, they're schooled up. When it rains, it pours. You get your fish when the fish are here, and they just kind of leave. And once they leave, you got to wait for them to come back.
Huh.
I find it's very rarely that you catch just one. It's usually 2 or 3, and then they're gone for a while. Then they come back. They're really aggressive fish. I mean, if you're letting your line down to set your tip up, don't be surprised if you get a fish.
Huh.
If they're in the area, they don't like dead things floating around in the water. They usually like to eat it. And there we go. Now we wait.
Well, we are back here on Thumb Lake today. It's kind of a funny story. Last week on the show, if you watched it, we were on this same lake fishing for splake with a guy who fishes it a fair amount, and we spent 6 hours on the ice, no splake. So Dave was sitting at home watching this show with his wife, and he says, you know, they ought to come with me. I always catch fish out there. So unbeknownst to him, his wife emailed me that night and said, hey, if you want to go fishing on Saturday, my husband's going to be out there. And as it worked out, I'm up here speaking at a church wild game dinner in Traverse City. It's a 2-night event, so I had nothing going on for the day on Saturday. So I got a hold of Dave and I said, hey, I'll join you. And so we're out here, and so 2 times in about a week and a half trying to catch some of these splake. And so, yeah, and actually it's Dave's birthday too, so hopefully we'll find a birthday fish for him. But just funny how it works out sometimes, and it's a beautiful lake and a beautiful day. It was below 0 this morning. I think he said it was like 10 below, 12 below. Warming up a little bit now, but it's a little crisp out here. Hoping to see some flags. Come on, fishy.
Remember, throw them on your line, Doc.
Here he comes.
Easy when he gets to the top.
Hey!
I think it's snapped.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
We caught one.
We caught one. All right. They are here.
Let me see that thing here.
They're definitely a pretty fish.
Boy, they are. And how big they got to be to keep here?
They have to be 12 inches to keep, and you're only allowed 3 over 15. So it's
Okay.
a 3-5 lake.
Okay.
So we'll have to keep track. if it
Well,
comes
there
to
it
that.
is, the elusive splake. Nice job.
Some people use a depth gauge. I prefer to set my minnows with a Vexlar.
How deep or how far off the bottom do you typically set them?
Probably a foot.
Okay.
Right now we're in 34 foot of water.
You've been fishing this lake a long time?
5 or 6 years.
Okay.
Adamantly. I've fished it many times, but I'm mainly an ice fisherman.
Okay.
I like creek fishing in the summertime.
Well, Dave was right. As soon as we got number 1 on the ice, well, the second fish flag flew, and Devin was right on it.
Nice. Gosh, they're pretty fish. Boy, that was 3 quick ones. When it rains, it pours, eh?
When it rains, it pours, man.
Man. And those probably eat just like a brook trout, right?
They're as orange inside as a blaze orange fishing cap. They're a hunting cap.
Huh.
They're blaze orange. Every now and then you might get one that's white. That just means it's just not that old and it come out of the hatchery.
Nice.
But you know what? For a fish, that's a pretty fish right there.
Yeah, it is.
Well, after about an hour and a half of nothing happening, we had 3 fish on the ice in about 3 minutes. And a few more yet to come.
Might be a bigger one the way he's acting. Could be a decent sized one. They usually don't go that far. He's spinning hard now. Hit him. Hit him, hit him, hit him, hit him. Hit him, pull him. There you go.
I got him. Is there?
In case you need some slack. Take it, just keep pulling steady.
Hey.
All right. Oh, they're nice fish. They're hard to hang on to. Nice fish.
There it is. There. Nice job, guys.
The elusive splake.
Is there certain minnows that you like to use, or doesn't it matter?
I like to use blues.
Those are
That's
good.
all I use for splake is blues.
Okay.
I don't think they bite on suckers, but they might.
Wait, yep. There's something.
It was there and then it wasn't there? What happened?
It was there and then it disappeared when I got to it, and then it turned around and probably hit it, and then I pulled it up.
You kind of jigged it a little bit and popped them good, didn't you?
Yeah.
Nice job.
Okay. Jerk.
Fish on. Small one, really small.
Perch.
Oh, fish.
Nice one.
Nice rainbow.
All right. Well, nice job, birthday boy.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man.
Beautiful fish. That's limit for both you guys, I think.
That's our limit. Yeah, that's
Wow.
that's a good day fishing.
It is. Nice job. Now, how long you been fishing these Splake?
6-7 years.
Okay.
Yep, 6-7 years, and it's always a good time on the ice. I mean, it's a good thing to take kids, and there's usually lots of flags, and we have a lot of fun.
Nice.
A few of the fish were under 15 inches, so we could have kept fishing. But with the cold weather, we decided to call it a day. Thanks to both Dave and Devin for letting me tag along on my apparent weekly trip to good old Thumb Lake.
Hi, I'm Jordan Brown, and for our next segment on this week's show, I was able to tag along with a couple of guys doing a little predator hunting down here in southern Michigan, and also learn about some of the new technology being used by predator hunters around the state.
Clint and I have been coyote hunting together for a couple of years now, and we've had a lot of success, and we've learned a lot of techniques. Technology has changed over the last several years since this passed. Here in Michigan, centerfire at night passed December of 2016, which allows us to use centerfire rifles, .269 diameter and smaller. And since that time, predator hunting in Michigan has just taken off. Since I started about 20 years ago with predator calling, my very first electronic predator call was a Johnny Stewart cassette tape, 25-foot cord on a speaker caller, you know, and the quality, audio quality in those sounds were what you would expect out of a cassette tape. So today we have high-end technology. You got sound makers using high-end recording equipment, and they have live animals on site where they're taking their day-to-day activities and they're recording them, and then they're making these audio files. There's several of them on the market today, and they all work really well. The one thing I can't stress enough is if at any point the wind direction is even remotely close to where we expect these coyotes to come from, we won't hunt it. And I recommend not hunting it, because all you're going to do is educate those coyotes. You will not fool their nose. And so when we finally get into that stand location, we get set up. We're usually 200 to 300 yards away from the woodlot, and get the caller usually about 50 yards out on our upwind side. So if the coyote decides to circle downwind, they're going to be right in our lap. 90% of the time we start off with howls, usually like a locator howl, usually whether it be a lone female, lone male. This time of year, lone male has been working really, really well for us. It's been getting the other coyotes in the area to respond to us, and based on their response, we either challenge them back, or we will bring out the territorial side of things as far as throw some food their way, make them think that this intruder has come in and he's eaten their food, and that'll usually bring a response as well.
In addition to significant changes on the calling side of things, the optics and firearms being used to hunt predators have also changed dramatically over the last few years.
When I started predator hunting, it was always kind of, a lot of people use these 223s, the 5.56 kind of rounds, 204s were common. Obviously, before the legislation changed, anything rimfire, because that's all we were limited to, unfortunately. That, in my opinion, just wounds a lot of animals. It doesn't give you an effective kill. Now, with the legislation being the 269 and lower, 223 is still common. Find ammo anywhere. But a lot of guys lean more towards, our dogs up here on the East Coast tend to be a little bit bigger, so 243s are getting common. You get the Grindles, the 6.5 Grindles, the Creedmoors, you're getting those kind of rounds, and those are, dropping them pretty good. A lot of it depends on shot placement. You got to make sure you put it where it counts, and I think with predators, they're real frantic. They're moving back and forth. There's a lot of movement, and I think people get amped up more so like a deer, they come in quiet. Coyotes, sometimes they're running in on you, so you got to be ready to put it where it counts. The technology has exploded with the calibers to the optics to the suppressors that we get to use, and now even tripods have become so popular. There's people that don't believe that me and Chris, I hear it all the time, stand out in the middle of a field with nothing around us to camouflage us, and we do it on a regular nightly basis. Tripods are an amazing way to steady your shot and help you out. To me, thermal is king. Thermal, you can pick up a field mouse at 100 to 125 yards away with these. It's incredible, especially the colder they get, the crisper they get. They got the 384 cores, the 640 cores. The screen microns, there's a whole bunch of technology wrapped up in this one little unit, and it's amazing. I have positively ID'd a coyote 900 yards away. It took me a minute to figure it out, but by movement alone, I was on top of a hill. I could see 900 yards away a coyote running across the field edge, and that's just amazing. It gives you a big edge. It doesn't broadcast the light out into the field, so you don't have crazy neighbors calling on you, and you don't have alarming the animals that you're hunting and all that. So it's a great piece of technology, and like I said, it is thermal is king.
There is a lot of negativity to coyote hunting and predator hunting in general, but they do cause a lot of damage to livestock, to deer populations, and what we've been seeing at night is not what people see during the day. People think there's not that many coyotes around, they never see them, but in reality there are many, many coyotes around. For example, one field this last week, we called in 5 coyotes in one spot. It's not uncommon to have 3-4 coyotes come running in on a single stand. Same goes with red fox. If we're going to talk predators, red fox, a lot of people don't like you shooting red fox, but they are also a very common predator that's out there. And again, if you have livestock, chickens, ducks, red fox will prey on those as well.
On our last set of the night, we actually did call in a couple of coyotes, but they were just too far for a clean shot. Special thanks to Chris and Clinton for letting me tag along and for teaching us all a little bit more about predator hunting here in southern Michigan.
When it comes to enjoying the outdoors, most of the time we don't think of downtown Detroit as an option to do that. But in this next story, we're going to show you the DNR Outdoor Adventure Center, which is an incredible place for the entire family.
We are up north, downtown. That puts it very succinctly. When we first opened, I would try to explain we're kind of a hands-on museum of all things natural resource-based that reflects everything in Michigan, and people's eyes would glaze over. And then one day, Mr. Hill was getting a tour, and I was explaining that, and he said, well, you know what you're going to have? You're going to have up north, right downtown, Lynn. It's going to be great. And that paints the picture, right? For people who've been up north and love it, or people who've never been, you'll get to experience beautiful things about Michigan in the building. So we opened the doors in July of 2015. So this July will be our 5th birthday. The building actually opened in June of 14. We have a Metro Detroit Customer Service Center here, so you can buy your fishing license, your hunting license, get your deer checked just like every other DNR office. That's attached to our building, and so they operated the first year while we spent time collecting the funds to build all the up north inside. We're trying to tell a story, and it starts right at the beginning. You'll walk through our area where our elk is. We call it the Welcome Elk area, which is where we're standing right now. And then you'll walk through to the history of the building, the city, and the river. We tie those things together because the building follows the history of the city of Detroit, which follows the rivers, the impetus of all that. Then we'll move over, you'll go past our cafeteria, our preschool play area, and you move into underwater Michigan, where we have live fish in our aquarium, all native to Michigan. We also have zebra mussels. You feel like you're underwater over there, and some live replicas of the sturgeon and the muskie, the two big fish that are found in the Detroit River. People are always finding that too hard to believe, people who don't fish. And then we move over to camping in Michigan. We talk about all the different ways we can give you places to stay. And you'll walk through our yurt into a fishing boat where you can fish electronically. You'll sit in a real boat, hold a real pole with real line that will attach to a computer and a visual screen that will fight the fish as you fish it. And hopefully you'll catch it. You can kayak over there, you can sit in a kayak and use the paddles. And that's one of the things we talk about. We inspire, educate, and connect. We inspire you to try something like kayaking. You sit in there and you go, well, I might not die. And then we show you how to handle the paddles and how to sit. And then we tell you, you can go to Belle Isle 5 months out of the year, 7 days a week and kayak. And then from there, we can connect you to state parks where there's kayaking. So that's what that's about. Then you walk through a cave, through a forest, past a deer blind, up our 35-foot tree with a climbing ladder inside, up to where there's a waterfall and a wildlife game area where you try to identify different animals that live in Michigan.
What's your favorite part so far?
My favorite part was probably hopping on the rocks down
in the water?
Hopping on the rocks.
Yeah. What about you, Ella? What'd you like about today?
I like the snowmobile and the airplane.
Awesome. What's your favorite part today?
The rainbow.
Oh. So what do you think? Is this a fun place?
Yeah.
What do you like about it?
It's super cool.
Yeah? What's your favorite part about this place?
I don't know. I like everything.
Everything. Awesome.
We have simulators for snowmobile, for bikes, for ORVs. We have a shooting range. We have a whole history of hunting and trapping. We have a plane you can sit in. And for a plane that doesn't fly anywhere, it's pretty popular.
Around every turn at the DNR Outdoor Adventure Center, there's something to touch, hold, or interact with. And Lynn says that's pretty important in today's world.
Because if it's walking and reading, that's not engaging, right? And it takes a lot to engage kids these days because their technology is so overwhelmingly stimulating that walking by and reading about things is not, right? And so it's really important that you get to feel, and when we orientate the buses, I always say to the kids, now when you come in the building, there are 3 rules, right? And you use your walking feet and stay with your grown-up, but you're encouraged to touch things that you could not approach in the wild because they're either too shy or too dangerous. So I want you to remember that. You are not going to go find a bear and reach out, but here's where you can see how big you are compared to that bear. And you can touch the fur to see what it's like. But because that bear is no longer alive, if you pull something out or if you touch the turkey and pull the feather, it won't grow back, and then we won't have that for the next group of children. So touch, but be gentle, but understand where you are compared to all the different animals you'll see here. So that's why it is important, because it does need to be engaging. It provides something you can't provide any other way, but we do always remind the kids it's not transferable, and that's a really important thing to teach the respect for when you're out in the wild. So we're always trying to reflect that feeling of being outdoors when you're indoors. And I know some people go, oh, the Outdoor Adventure Center, it's inside, that seems silly. But really, people need to learn how to connect again. So many people don't, and we like to see ourselves as a bridge to inspire people to go back outside, to connect them to places to go, and to make them remember that it's fun. Because we forget, if we sit in our basement or in the air conditioning, like we don't know, no one ever took you camping, so you're not gonna figure out how to go. You're going to go to the Great Wolf Lodge again because the kids liked it. So we want you to get ready. So we have these family campouts. We loan the equipment. We get everything done for you so that you can start to learn these things that maybe you didn't experience as a young person, but you want your family to.
I really love it. DNR did a great job here. There's a lot of demonstrations of the different activities that you can do in Michigan. My kids love the snowmobile simulators and the DNR plane simulator, and especially the Big Tree Playhouse. But it was educational too. Definitely thinking about bringing Girl Scout and Boy Scout troops back here. So
it's a good place to spend a cold Sunday afternoon.
It's a dream come true at the DNR Outdoor Adventure Center in downtown Detroit, and it's a great way to introduce your family to wildlife, outdoor recreation, and to reconnect with Michigan's out of doors. Thanks for joining us this week for Michigan Out of Doors. Make sure you stick around in upcoming weeks here on the show. We've got a lot of exciting things headed your way this winter. We'll be working on some more wintertime fishing, small game hunting. We'll be gearing up for our Big Buck Night East at Outdoorama at the end of the month. All sorts of fun things headed your way. If you'd like to see where we are and where we're headed next, you can always check us out online.
Well, that's right, Jenny. Online is a great way to kind of keep tabs on us. Our website, MichiganOutofDoorsTV.com. Full episodes of the show there every week. We're also on most of the social media sites if you want to check us out there. And if you're ever on YouTube, you can subscribe to our channel there and get an email every time we post something new. Lots of good stuff coming over the next several weeks. If we don't see it in the woods or on the water, hopefully we'll see it right back here next week on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by.
Do you dream of somewhere bigger than your backyard? You can get there with Greenstone. Whether you want to hunt, fish, hike, or just watch the sunset, we're ready to help you own your place in the great outdoors. To learn more, visit greenstonefcs.com.
Michigan's hunters and anglers are essential partners to the health of the state's wildlife and habitats. The Michigan Wildlife Council is dedicated to ensuring our hunting and fishing heritage and Michigan's natural resources are preserved for future generations. By Showspan, producing consumer shows including Outdoorama February 27th through March 1st at Novi's Suburban Collection Showplace. The show features tackle, trips, boats, outfitters, the trout pond, and of course, Big Buck Night. That's Outdoorama in Novi February 27th through March 1st.
Closed captioning provided by Marvo Mineral, makers of Lucky Buck, deer management products including minerals to supplement deer diets year-round to improve health and antler growth.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbow trout in a hidden stream. The white-tailed deer in the tall pine trees. I am a Michigan man.